Lord forgive me for this trap shit. Sergeant Smack make it backflip. Telly Hank did with the action. With the vital speaking Spanish. Frank Matthews how I vanish. Poof. Came back like I'm King Tut. Gold BBS is on a beamer. When Fat Cat was 10 queens up. Ball off the profit, not the re-up. Fly like Puerto Rican Jesus. Uptown like I'm Baby May. Just caught a touchdown from the bay.
Seen a car full of girls, ain't no need to tweak. All of you search know what's up with 213.
First of all, I'd like to thank God. Second of all, I'd like to thank my whole entire Defo family on both sides, you know what I'm saying? I'd like to tell Tupac to keep his guards up. We ride with him. And one other thing I'd like to say, any artist out there want to be an artist and want to stay a star and don't want to have to worry about the executive producer trying to be all in the videos, all on the record, dancing. Come to Death Row.
My name is Jake, you know what I'm saying? I'm from West Side, Campanella Port, Pyru, you know. Been, you know, doing this here type of lifestyle since I was about 13 years old, you know, and been through the penitentiary systems, all the little juvenile system, 5 years, 6 years in the state, you know, and I'm just gonna kick a little something. Everybody wanna know why people bang, why people kill, why people do this, sell dope, and you can't just look at the individuals, because, you know, you have to look at the environment that they're set in that creates these conditions for them to have to live and do the things that they do. And so we just kicking it like that. You know, we ain't out here essing on our chest, but, you know, it's like everybody out here want to be a tough guy, killer, a gangster, you understand? But most of the killers and gangsters I know either got all day or dead. So everybody out here just living. So, you know, we kicking it from that perspective. You know what I'm saying? For me, it wasn't like no peer pressure thing. You know why? I'm just jumping on the bandwagon. I'm going to do this because all the homeboys doing it. My thing is like, you know, growing up in a certain neighborhood, you have altercations with people that grew up on another part of a certain neighborhood, and you grow up and you know it's affiliation through association. And then coming up with that, you know what I'm saying? My mama just happened to have her house on the side where the red team was at. So there it is right there. And in doing that, you know, you growing up, doing everything out in the streets, from murder, money, violence to sex, and the out of town, going out of town with the doing your work and all of this. That's all been done, you know what I'm saying? It's 94, you gotta have a new twist with things. You know, I did a year juvenile, you know what I'm saying, 4.5 years in the state penitentiary. You know, I done been to damn near all of them, Folsom, Quentin, Soledad, you know, Jamestown, Solano, Vacaville, you know, on tour. So as far as like all the negatives I've seen, now in my life at this point, I'm making a transition to do positive things and to, you know, try to alleviate a lot of the bullshit that's going on out here in the streets with these youngsters that ain't knowing. You know, they don't know that these white folks got a place for them for the rest of their life. They might not never even see their neighbor and be in a penitentiary 5-10 years and never even see the person next to them in the next cell, because they got places for them with these drive-bys, automatic weapons, everything that's going on out here, the dope. You know, they want to give us all day for catching 2 or 3 ounces hard. And you know what I'm saying? They catch John DeLorean with 100 keys in a camera, give him a smack on the hand so you see what's going on. So you got the, you know what I mean, peep game and just, you know, stay above water. You know what I'm saying? And with the Crips and the Bloods and this truce and all this, you know, I didn't participate with the truce because I didn't feel like it was being put down right. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to be drinking and hanging out with you to kick it with you. You understand? You stay in your neighborhood, keep your people organized, deal with your people. I stay in my neighborhood, deal with my people, keep them organized. When you see me, give me a pass. When I see you, I give you a pass. But all this old week on hang out and all that, I still think, you know, we need to go through some more steps and levels before we get to that point. Because I don't think everybody be sincere about, you know what I'm saying, putting this gang thing behind us. And I know a lot of people been killed behind it, a lot of lives been taken, you know what I'm saying? But my thing be like this. People want to be gangsters, they want to put work in, want to do this, but you can go around the corner and just shoot up 3 or 4 black men. The sheriffs get behind you. You got 2 AKs in the car, 4 Tech 9s, you know what I'm saying? 10 pistols, and they tell you to freeze your stop. You understand? They only 2 individuals with 2 guns. You just went and shot 4 or 5 blacks up, but you freeze when they tell you. I'm saying if you're a gangster, sell the ranch, grandma, grandpa, the chickens, everything. If you're going out with bullets and gun smoke, don't just stop with yours. You understand me? Deal with it on that level if that's what you're doing. If you're not, get out the way. Let somebody else that is. Quit perpetrating.
Hey, we do a thing. It's called respect. You know what I'm saying? We don't be getting caught out of pocket in another nigga neighborhood.
Yo, we back. Shay's Popalot. Mob, gang. We on our way to sunny California with it. Compton to be exact. Campanella Park if y'all trying to pull up. But I advise y'all to watch what y'all wear around this bitch. Now, before I get into it about the area and about the subject that we are covering today, I also want to say that this episode covers a time in hip-hop when death first came into play. Now, this time that I happen to be speaking of is going to be the mid-1990s. And it would go on to be known as the Turf War days, or the East Coast-West Coast beef, or the East Coast-West Coast rivalry. Now, I'm going to do my best to make the case that the person that we are covering today is arguably going to be the person that started that time in hip-hop. And that person that I'm talking about is going to be a gentleman by the name of Hassan Jamal Robles, also known as Jake Robles, better known as Big Jake. Now, it would be the death of Big Jake Robles on September 23rd in 1995 outside of an Atlanta nightclub that would start one of the most vicious and fiercest rivalries that hip-hop has ever seen, and would pretty much cause the game to lose 2 icons. Now, me having a front row seat through it all, I definitely feel qualified enough to speak on this subject. And I said that everything kind of started brewing in the mid-90s. It really started brewing in between the years of 1994 and 1995. It would hit a semi-all-time level on August 3rd, 1995 at the 1995 Source Awards, where me watching it from TV literally looked like it was lines being drawn across the sand. But it was a few incidents before that night that would probably have some people on edge. Now, prior to the Source Awards, Tupac had previously been shot at Quad Studios in New York, and he was incarcerated during the time of the Source Awards. Though at the time he had no direct connection to Death Row Records, while accepting the award, Suge Knight would go on to tell Tupac to hold his head and let him know that Death Row Records was essentially riding with him. Now, if you happen to watch it live, because it was broadcasted on TV, or you can go pull it up on YouTube, because I'm sure it's up there. Now, as the show would progress, you would see an ante up of bravado from some of the people in attendance, and it was really mainly Death Row and Bad Boy, and it's like they was going back to back accepting awards. And at one time, Biggie took the stage and he said, "Brooklyn, we bringing it home," after accepting an award. And it would go to another level when Snoop would get on the mic and would address the East Coast, asking if they had love for Death Row. Now, me remember being in Brooklyn and bumping the Doggy Style album. We definitely had love for the West Coast, but it seemed like that night a lot changed in the game. Now, online, Jake Robles is often referenced as Suge Knight's bodyguard and also a well-respected member of the Campanella Park Pyrus. Now, Campanella Park would get its name from a park located in Compton in their neighborhood in or around Stanford Avenue or 148th Street. Some people might remember the name Campanella Park from when BMF was first indicted on November 1st, 2007, when the federal grand jury in Los Angeles would return an indictment and charge 20 defendants who were alleged members or associates of Campanella Park Piru Bloods, as well as the BMF, or the Black Mafia family, for participating in a multi-state conspiracy to distribute cocaine, crack cocaine, heroin, PCP. According to that indictment, they're going to say that members or associates of the Campanella Park Piru Bloods would traffic in kilogram quantities of cocaine in the Campanella Park area of Compton, going on even further to say that it was members of the Campanella Park Piru Bloods essentially serving BMF, who we know to be the biggest drug trafficking organization in recent memory. Now, Big Jake, who would be attending Jermaine Dupri's birthday party on September 23rd, 1995, along with Suge Knight, where they would get in some sort of confrontation with Puffy and his entourage. Based on Jermaine Dupri's accounts, that altercation would spill over to an after party, and it would be at that after party where Suge and Puffy would be essentially arguing in the street. And according to Jermaine Dupri, Puffy would essentially take a sip of champagne from a bottle, and one of his associates, a well-known goon, Anthony Wolf Jones, would open fire, wounding Big Jake, who would go on to pass away days later in the hospital due to his wounds. Now, some say it would be the death of Big Jake. Some would say it was the East Coast, West Coast wars playing out, but it would eventually result in almost like an underground feud between the Pirus and the Southside Crips, who they say that Bad Boy would align with. In 20 years to the day of Big Jake's death, the person that was alleged to have driven the getaway car in the Tupac Shakur murder was essentially murdered in a marijuana shop in Compton. Now, I'm not saying that this had anything to do with the death of Big Jake 20 years prior on the streets in Atlanta, but it's just ironic that it happened on the very same day. Y'all make sure y'all follow me on Instagram, on Twitter. It's your boy Popalot, POP_A_LOT. Y'all hit the red subscribe button right under this video so y'all know when this real, trill, spill shit is dropping. And y'all get in the comment box and flood it. Let me know where we need to go, what stories we need to cover, what we missed, what gangsters we haven't discussed. And I'm going to be back ASAP. Mob gang.